I draw a parabola, y equal to ax squared plus bx. Oh. Okay, so how do we draw a parabola? Okay, so to draw a parabola, what you do is you find the y-intercept, then x-intercept, then axis symmetry, then the vertex, and then draw. Okay, let's try to do the first question. So the first one, it says that it's going to... Alright, so let's find the y-intercept first. So put x equal to 0. Yep. That's the general form of the parabola. Yeah. So x equal to 0. So you get y equal to 0 minus 3, 0 plus 2, which is negative 6. Yep. Alright, and then x-intercept. X-intercept is when y equal to 0. Now, how do we find x-intercept if you put y 0? What should we do? Anyone? Well, it's already factorized for you, so you just write it down. You do not need to expand. X-intercept is found. So we've got the y-intercept and the x-intercept. Let's draw it on here. So 3 and negative 2. And then you get negative 6. Alright, negative 6 like that. It passes through these 3 points. And then what you need to do is work out what we call the axis of symmetry. Now, how do I work out the axis of symmetry? There's a way to find out. Let me check something first. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. So to find the axis of symmetry, it's just exactly halfway between the x-intercept. So if you go axis of symmetry, you just go x equal to the average, which is 1 over 2. Okay. All right. Come back in 15 minutes. Thank you. All right. So you got half. And then what's half is, this is your axis symmetry. So put half there. Actually, it wasn't labeled properly. Let me label it again. So you got 1, 2, 3. And then the halfway is here. Half. X equal to half. That's your axis symmetry. Now, that's required for you to find the vertex. So how do you find the vertex? You substitute half into the equation. You put half back into the equation, half and half. So it will be half minus 3, half plus 2. Using your calculator, you will get negative 6.25. I think. Can you double check? So your vertex is 0.5, comma, negative 6.25. Yep. So notice that negative 6 is not the minimum place. The vertex is actually on here. It's the lowest point, or it could be the highest point. So it's negative 0.5, comma, negative 6.25. So you get these points and you join these dots to get a graph. Right, and make sure you label the x and the y axis. Yeah, like that. All good? Yeah, that's good. Right, draw that and try to do the next one, following the same procedure. Y-intercept, x-intercept, axis symmetry, and vertex, and you draw. How easy is that? Very easy. Is it long? Yes, it's long, but it's easy. Okay? Try the next one. Have a try. Alright, good. Try the next page. Exactly the same. Next page. How do I do this? You find the y-intercept and the x-intercept. So how do I find the y-intercept? Substitute x is 0. and equals 0, you will find the y-intercept is actually the constant term, right? Negative 8. That's your y-intercept. And then the x-intercept, you have to factorize. The other one's already factorized for you. So what you do is put 0, and then you factorize. And hopefully you remember how to factorize. No? Ruby, how do I factorize? Yeah, so what do you do? Tell me the numbers. Yeah, multiply to get negative 8, add to get negative 2. Yeah, have a think. Yeah, but ask Ruby, but anyway, 4 and negative 2. Well, you can still tell me. Okay. I'm training you to so that you can work out no matter what happens. Even if you're sick. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Okay. So what do? So you get x is negative 4 and 2. These are the x-intercept. What else are there? X-intercept, y-intercept. And then you get the axis of symmetry. Now, there's two ways to get the axis of symmetry. Let me give you both ways. The first method is the one I just showed you, is to just go average the two, right? Which you get negative 1. Yep. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh. So it will be plus there, minus there. Okay, let's try again. So it will be 4 and minus 2, which is 2 over 2, 1. And the other method is to use the formula. Now, I'll use the formula in this question because it's in that standard form, in the general form. See, the other one's factorized. You need to expand it. So I can't really use that formula. See, this formula it's not really good for this question because you got to expand it. I don't want to expand it. So in this one, you can use it. So you can go minus 2 over 2 times 1, which will also give you 1, right? Up to you. You can use that one or that one. Up to you. But the thing is that I wouldn't use method 1 if the answers are third, right? If they are third, I wouldn't use it. Or if the answer is not exact, I wouldn't use method 1, I use method 2. Or if it doesn't even have x-intercept, you have to use method 2. Because sometimes parabola doesn't have x-intercept. Okay, good. So we've got x equal to 1, and then we're going to draw it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, negative 2. Y-intercept is negative 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 8. Oh, I forgot the vertex. So we've got the axis symmetry over here. Let's draw a dotted line like this. Okay, let's find a vertex. So to find a vertex, you just have to go substitute 1 into the formula. You get negative 9. So you got these points, and you join the dots to get the points. Okay, good. So you're going to draw this. Too big. Too small. All right, let's draw it. Plot the points, and then draw it. Okay, good. X and Y axis. Any question? You should try the next one. I should highlight this formula because this formula is important. Okay, right, done. Can you try the next one? Have a try. Try that. Okay, so what we got here is another parabola, same as before, y-intercept. I won't show all the steps. You will see that's just negative 4, right? Now, x-intercept looks like it's something you can't factorize, because if you try to factorize, you'll get this. So you can't really factorize, isn't it? Can't factorize. So what happens if you can't factorize? Formula. Let's use the formula. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. So you get, so let's try to use the formula. So let's write down the equation again. Y equals to negative x squared plus 2x minus 4. The formula will tell us that x equals to, what's x equal to? So x equal to minus b, which is minus 2 plus or minus 2 squared minus 4ac over 2 times negative 1. Now if you do that, what will happen? You get something inside the square root, which is 4 minus 16, negative 12. Is that allowed? So you say no solution, which means no x-intercept. So this is a case where the parabola doesn't have an x-intercept, but it will still have axis of symmetry. So that means we have to use method 2 using this formula to get the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry will be negative 2 over 2 times negative 1, which is 1. So you only have an axis of symmetry 1, but it doesn't have x-intercept. It has a y-intercept of negative 4, and we're going to get the vertex. Now, how do I get the vertex? Now, substitute 1 back into the formula, y equal to negative 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 4. That will be negative 5, then plus 2, negative 3. So 1, negative 3. So you only get 2 points to join, which is concave down. Because how do I know it's concave down? Because the negative there. Concave down. Alright, so hopefully you'll be able to sketch a variety of parabola in different forms. We've got one more page to go through. Alright, all got it? Try the next page. Okay, good. Already? Alright, let's move on. Next page. Alright, all done. Okay, next page. So we're going to find the axis of symmetry. So in this case, you don't need to factorize, just use the formula because you only ask for the axis of symmetry. So you just go minus 1 over 2 times negative 3, which is 1 over 6. That's the equation of axis of symmetry. But make sure when you do the equation, you have to write x equal to. It's not enough just to write 1 over 6. You have to write x equal to because you say it's an equation. Okay? You must include the x. And then you have to state the maximum value. Now, why is there a maximum value? The graph is concave down. Therefore, you have to have a maximum value. And the maximum value occurs at the axis of symmetry, right? So to get the maximum value, max value, all you have to do is to substitute the x value you just found into the formula. Max value equals to x, y equal to negative 3, 1 over 6 squared plus 1 over 6 minus 5. So the maximum value is the y value of the vertex. Or alternatively, if the graph is concave up, then it has a minimum value, which occur at the vertex as well. So if you use your calculator, you will get, so you just press the button, negative 3 times by 1 over 6 1/6 and you square it. Make sure you put a bracket square like this. Takes a while to type. And then plus 1/6 minus 5. Oops. What would that be? That would be a fraction, -59/12. That's the maximum value. Any questions? So it's pretty easy. You get questions like this in the textbook. And then we've got one more part to go through, then you can start the textbook work. Let me just indicate something. That's your max value. Okay, next one. Yep. No, that's concave down will have a maximum. Up, there's concave up, you will ask for minimum. You want to ask for maximum because you, yeah. Okay. Okay, good. That's good. Okay, let's continue. What do we have here? We're going to continue here. Okay, another type of parabola is written in this form. Hopefully you're familiar with it. So in this form, it tells you the shifting. That's shifting up or down, shift, vertical shift. This is horizontal shift. And finally, the A gives you the concavity. So when parabola are written in this form, the first thing you find is the vertex rather than the x and y intercept, because the vertex will be obvious to you. Okay, so there's actually these two forms of the parabola that you need to be aware of. And then you try the first question. So the first one is +1 minus 4. That tells you it shift to the left, 1, down, 4. So the vertex are now found. -1, -4. So basically, when parabola are written in the perfect square form, completed square form, you can sketch it almost immediately. So -1, -4. Yep, like that. And you know that if I were to draw it, it will look like this, right? So clearly, there's an x-intercept you have to find and a y-intercept you have to work out. Okay, so let's work them out. So you have to find the y-intercept. How do I find the y-intercept? Is to substitute x equal to 0. And if you use your calculator, you get -3. As expected, -3. And this is label your vertex like always. And then you find the x-intercept. X-intercept is a little bit harder to find. X-intercept. So for y is 0. And then what do you do? Do you need to expand? No, you do not need to expand. You just have to move the 4 over. And then you square root. And when you square root, you must put plus or minus. So you get plus or minus 2 equal to x plus 1. So therefore, x equal to -1 plus or minus 2, which is -3 or 1. Right? So you've got 1 or -3. And then we can draw the graph. 1 and -3. Get the idea? So in this form, you work out the vertex first. Work out the x and y intercept last. I'll try the next one. It's the same thing. Work out the vertex and draw. And then you can start the work, which is exercise 9.1. And of course, if you are watching at home, the exercise you should do is right at the bottom, exercise, sorry. Let me just pull them back. Okay, exercise 9.1. 1, 3, 6, 8, 11, AC, 14, C, E, G, I, right? Now, of course, you should do some extra question for the HSC assessment, 19 to 22. Now, remember, if you're using the extension 1 book, what should you do? You have to do chapter 10 instead of 9. Okay, just change the 9 to 10 if you're using the extension 1 book. But otherwise, it should be okay. All right. Okay, now we'll have to draw it now. Let's draw it, then you can see whether you got it right. Now in this one, I don't think it has all the intercept. I think it only has the y-intercept. Let's try to draw it. And when you draw it, you're going to get, so clearly that's left -1, down -6, right? So if you draw it, but then this time it's concave down. Concave down. So what you get is, so -1, -6. Over here, right? And it's concave down, clearly doesn't have an x-intercept, so you don't even need to even find it. There's a y-intercept. So to get the y-intercept, you have to do x is 0, y equal to -0 plus 1 square minus 6, which is -7. I think that's all you have to do. Make sure you always label the vertex as well. Right, all done. Okay, don't forget the exercise 9.1 today. It's on the sheet of paper. Okay, that's all. Okay, if you have a question, let me know.